He will not be serving as permanent secretary GSO, but he will be serving as Olusegun Adekunle in a different capacity, because there is need for institutional memory, so that at the end of our exercise, the lifespan of the PTF, by the end of December, as approved by Mr. President, we should be able to document our activities from inception and the milestones that we have achieved and the things that we think we could have done better. Because that was the essence of the midterm review that we had with development partners, with stakeholders, was a critique of what we've been able to achieve and what we can do better and going forward. We would need some institutional memory to be able to codify that and leave it for the purposes of posterity. This will not be the last pandemic. This will not be the last virus. Some others will come. But as a legacy of the service of this presidential task force, we want to leave something on ground. That these were the things we did. We could have done them in a better way. And we believe that if we are confronted with the same environment or the same situation in the future, these are the kind of steps that we want to see those that are coming behind us do. And for that reason, you need institutional memory of how we started, how the concept notes were drawn, how all the documentations were done, and the milestones that have been achieved. If in the process we get a vaccine, it should be recorded. How did we get there? Now we have a rapid test kit that is in the process of being validated. How did we get there? Who and who participated? And I believe that records are very, very important going into the future. And for that reason, we'll tap off his experience, retain those experiences, and make sure that at the end of our responsibilities, everything is captured in the best manner. So on behalf of all these men and women, members of the task force and members of the fourth realm, we want to thank you for your dedicated service, for your high sense of patriotism, and the efficiency with which you have managed the affairs of the PTF. And as you exit, we wish you the best, and I believe that as you leave the public service, you still have a lot to offer, and as often as possible, we will require you to come back and transfer the skills, the knowledge that you have imbibed in the last 36 years in your service to your fatherland and for the good of our people. Those knowledge should not be lost in the process. It's supposed to be transferred in the processes of mentoring and training of our young ones that are coming into the public service. And on this note, I say, have a wonderful retirement time. Enjoy yourself, rest as much as you can, but keep the flag of what you've been able to establish in terms of your dedication high up there. You have done very well, and we commend you for it. And for those of you that have served also in the process of this last month, let me truly, truly appreciate you, particularly the men and women of the fourth realm. You've done very well. We've not been punctual every time, but at every given moment, you've made yourselves available, and you have transmitted and broadcast all the information that is required to keep our people safe, to make sure that they do the needful to preserve lives and balance it with livelihood. And I have been truly, truly blessed and quite impressed with the level of professionalism that you have demonstrated in the course of the last 7 months. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Chairman PTF. That brings us to the end of... But before I leave this...
Hello there, glad to have you join us on the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja. My name is Sobe Inuwoke. I will begin with the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurates a Tapwe Warri rail line, transmits petroleum industry bill to House of Representatives for consideration. Vice President calls on Nigerians to key into government whistleblower policy by providing useful information. Stakeholders call for separation of policies and roles of anti-corruption agencies to avoid conflicts. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll begin with the inauguration of Itakpe-Warri rail line. President Muhammadu Buhari is reassuring Nigerians that his administration will continue within the limits of resources to judiciously utilize the nation's commercial and industrial hubs towards boosting trade, generate wealth, create employment opportunities for sustainable economic growth. This was while inaugurating virtually the Itakpe-Ajaokuta-Warri rail line and auxiliary facility yard at the recently named Goodluck Jonathan Railway Complex, Abo, Delta State. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Since coming to power in 2015, the Buhari administration recognized the importance of rail transportation as a vital backbone towards supporting industrialization and economic development. The Itakpe-Ajaokuta-Warri rail line that has been in limbo for 30 years is one of those prioritized as viable routes towards achieving effective and efficient train services supporting Nigeria's trade and commerce.
The railway infrastructure that I have the honor to commission today is an important link for the country's economy as a central rail line. This government has also approved to link this line further from Itakpe to Abuja, thereby connecting the northern zone of the country and also extending southwards to link the Warri port. It is my high expectation that this project, a vital link of south-south geopolitical zone of the country to northern zones, would be completed during the tenure of this administration.
The project, the president believes, will link people across the cultural divides and expand the frontiers of trade and commerce, thereby leading to better standards of living for Nigerian citizens. The president therefore enjoined all Nigerians in the transportation industry, especially the railway subsector, to sustain their support to government in its drive towards achieving other railway infrastructure projects.
By the same token, I urge other sectors who will be primary beneficiary of this transportation backbone, including the iron and steel sector, stakeholders in the agricultural and mining sectors,